now.
Hello,
everybody.
How is everyone today? I hope you are all doing absolutely fabulous today. Welcome to our Thursday stream. It is the Wheel of Time, the Rise of the Black Ajah.
Oh no.
Dun, dun.
Very excited to see what happens today. First, though, why don't we do some little intros? Why don't you tell me about yourself, Snowflake? Why don't you do that?
Hello everyone, most of you probably know me as Snowflake Boy, who has been very active while the Plain Nerd Allies have been streaming lately. I'm a Danish boy who's studying to become a teacher, and I have a very big fascination with communities, actually. And I've been part of the Plain Nerd Allies for 5 months?
Many months. All the months.
And it has been an amazing trip, and I'm so glad to be part of it.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have
So
you here.
glad.
And Chaotic Platypus just reminded me, yes, happy Veterans Day!
Yes, thank you to all
Happy
our
Veterans
veterans.
Day.
Yes.
My dad was a vet, and I miss him very much. And and thank you to all of the people out there who are helping to keep our country a fabulous, free, democratic thing.
And the families of all those people as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I grew up in a military family, so
No.
the family thing is real.
Oh yeah. No, it's huge. It's huge.
It's very real.
There's not only like celebrating the service, but also understanding the repercussions. I think that should be a real part of Veterans Day too, is, keep in mind that the psychological BS that they go through doesn't end when they finish their service.
No.
That there's
it still continues.
For them or their families, yeah, absolutely.
It's important to celebrate them when they're in the field. It is also so important to take care of them when they come back.
Completely.
So if there is a fabulous charity out there that you want to give to, I say yes. Go and do that today. Help a veteran. There's a lot. Some of the ones that I love are the charities. There are several that help to get veterans jobs, that help to ensure that they are housed, all of that good stuff, so that they can, when they come back, they have the time they need to heal, and then they are not disenfranchised from employment or work because of what they're going through. So yes, I highly recommend that. Let's do that today. And with that, Lando, why don't you tell us a little about you?
Hey, my name is Lando. I play Gahard, the Aiel, and I'm a part of the Plain Nerd Allies team. So I run the streams, and I also get to play in some of the games. So yeah, I'm always here in some capacity. So
Don't you mean
glad to be
all the
here.
games?
All of the games.
All the games.
And Weston, why don't you tell me a little about you?
So I am Weston Bell. I am one half of Party of Two, along with Haley. So we are a two-person team doing content on tabletop RPGs. On Monday nights, we do a tabletop terrain talks where we also cover news in the industry. So if you know of anything going on in the industry or awesome Kickstarters or indie projects, please shoot us that information. You can find us at Party of Two RPG. Live.
On Twitter.
I love it.
You do the
I love
Twitter.
it. And what about you, Miss Haley?
Well, Weston did our intro of who we are, but I get to play Callista in this wonderful world, and she is the Aes Sedai, the magic user, and she is green. She's a green Ajah. I am wearing blue today. I've literally worn green every single time we've played. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but I have a green t-shirt on.
I have, and I thank you for it.
Yeah, it's just so cold at my house today that like I had to wear a sweater, and this is the nicest one, the fuzziest one I have.
You should probably tell them that I'm your warder.
Oh, and Weston's my warder. He plays Evan.
No, he's just some random
Some
asshole.
random dude that just follows her around.
Just getting
fine.
distracted by green things.
Yeah.
Yes.
All over the place.
Like his yeah.
That's
Anyway.
right. He is obsessed with green.
In every
that's
conceivable way.
He literally can't see you today, Haley, because you are not wearing your
No,
green.
I'm blue. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
she is
Yes.
wearing green. We just can't see it.
That's right. But
Only Evan
this
sees
is
it.
the fabulous cast of The Rise of the Black Ajah. I am your DM,
Oh,
DM Kyle. I love to hurt my players and to make them cry all the time.
Yes,
What
yes.
I enjoy the most. They make me cry a whole lot because they don't die. And so there's just a lot of, if you like a lot
not
of
yet.
crying, you know, that's
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. Thank you for the follow, Disco Payday. This. And a few announcements. We have 2 official sponsors of our fabulous stream. The first one is Souls Rolls. He is an astonishing creator that has created multiple games and created all of the magic items and the feats that we are using in our homebrewed setting today. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
We
And we love
absolutely
them.
love him. He's also an amazing person and helps a lot of people take what they wish they were doing and make it the thing they're doing. He absolutely is incredible at helping you determine what you need to do to take your dream and make it a reality. So please head over to his website. Go check it out. He's got a lot of fabulous articles about all kinds of things, including stuff like burnout and how to avoid it. And sign up for a chance to chat with him once a month to just help you pull things together for your dream to come true. In addition to that, we are sponsored by Role Playing and Role Playing, who is putting out my new favorite Kickstarter. It has not gone live yet, but it is in the pre-launch phase. So please, please, please go and sign up for this to get notified when it is actually time to get this going, right? It is a fabulous thing that helps so much with storytelling at the table. You have got all of these amazing ideas for crazy characters, items, spells, places, all kinds of stuff that is very specifically designed to be non-optimized, but to make storytelling easier for you and give you super wacky situations that you can get pulled into at any table. So it is a gorgeous supplement to have at your table. Absolutely. Go sign up for it right now. In addition to that, of course, we are sponsored by Hero Forge. That's all the minis that you see behind us. We love that. There is Games Played Badly, who is a delightful YouTuber. We have just recently done a delightful little interview with them as well, so go check that out. Phoenix Dice, who is part of our giveaway today. Today we are giving away 3 things. We are giving away fabulous dice from Phoenix Dice. What makes them fabulous? They're made out of recycled materials because they love our world just as much as they love all the fabulous worlds that we play in. So there is that. And if you win the dice, you get to pick any dice in their whole shop. Any of them.
Yeah.
Basic, super fabulous, doesn't matter. You can have whatever you want. It's great. We also have a delightful thing from Realm Warp Media, another one of our sponsors. They are providing us with a fabulous supplement to Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons.
Heck
It is a
yeah.
whole book of dragon layers. It is absolutely fabulous. All the maps, some stories. It's gorgeous. So that is a digital copy of that. In addition to, of course, D&D Beyond, who supports our stream. You can get a fabulous set of their mythic digital dice. You can by entering our delightful giveaway. The link is currently in the chat. I also would like to draw everyone's attention to the fact that we do have codes for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
A fabulous mobile game where you get to play as all of the greatest champions in the Forgotten Realms. Go check it out today, and if you use that code, you can get an Electrum chest, which will give you all kinds of in-game goodies.
They're pretty nice.
Yay! So, with that, are we ready to play some fabulous D&D?
Heck
that what-
yeah.
Well, okay, only Snowflake is apparently ready, so we'll just want to hang out.
Yeah, I mean, just chill.
Just want to.
Yeah,
Fine.
do a little dance.
Who the fuck is ready to play some D&D?
Let's do it!
Fabulous. Well, let us get into the world of the Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time. Ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legends fade to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the Third Age by some, yet to come an age long past, a wind rose in the spine of the world. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the Wheel of Time. But it was a beginning. The wind, in a torpor, slowly fell down the crevasses of the high mountains, twisting through the now empty caravan routes, picking up dust, picking up the scent of loneliness, and picking up the scent of darkspawn. It traveled across the plains of Shinar, tousling the fur of bestial-faced monsters. It moved slowly past cloaks that were unmoved by it, traveling in the darkened places, until a desolate breeze fell slowly into the walled citadel of Fal Gorfan. The mood in the city is tense and deliberate. They now know the Trollocs and the Myrddraal, and something even worse, has been working to cage them, and they have succeeded. No food is coming. No help is on the way. And though they managed to save 200 of their civilians, 800 people, 800 hardened Shinaran souls, behind the high walls of their city. They wait as the food grows thin, as the gruel grows even thinner, waiting for the moment when the darkspawn will crush them. But there is hope. In their midst, they have not one but two Aes Sedai, having saved one of them from the degradations of the Darkspawn. They have 2 warders, a mystical Aiel and a very acrobatic thief. They have soldiers and weapons, and they have steel in their hearts. But now they must plan for the siege of Falgorfan. And with that, I will turn it over to my fabulous player. Tell me, what do? You have awoken in the tavern. You know that there is a darkspawn somewhere in the city, actively sabotaging your defenses.
Are we the next morning, or?
It is the next morning.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Tell me.
Right.
Tell me a fabulous story.
11 wakes up. First thing he does is goes and check on Callista. Her wounds.
You come in the room, and I'm sitting on the bed, having been able to rest and recuperate, and I'm feeling significantly better than I was before. And I just look. Yes.
You were in fact visited by Hester Sedai the evening before. She has woken from her deep slumber.
Finally.
And she is currently resting again because healing you took a lot out of her.
Okay.
But you are now back to, if not perfect health, you are back to your old self.
Okay. I'm fine.
That was too close.
I know. I'm sorry. Have you managed to gain anything while I was out?
A bunch of the weapons have been destroyed. And the gate was almost weakened. Gahard was able to fix it, but it was a near thing. Someone is using Sidene here.
What?
Why Gahard was able to fix it. And I think I understand, he undid the weave?
Is it in game you're asking?
No, he's asking
no.
me.
Oh.
He's talking to me.
Talking to her.
Oh, yeah.
He pulled the thread of the weave.
That's what he seemed to describe.
Well, where is he now? And I immediately stand up and head to the door to go find Gahard.
Where are you, Gahard?
Gahard, where are you?
Yeah. So what time did that event happen with the gate?
That would have been in the evening.
Like late evening?
That's like the day before.
Yeah, it was the day before.
Okay. Because I'm trying to figure out. Never mind. So I'm guessing Evan woke up pretty early, so Gahard is going to be either still in his room or waking up around the same time. So.
You don't have a room. Remember, you were sleeping on the roof.
You're sleeping
Yeah, so
on the roof or in the table.
Yep, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, he doesn't
I
like.
don't sleep
We
on
don't like
beds.
beds.
Beds are way
Screw
too
that.
soft.
Yeah, screw that.
Wetlanders.
That's for soft wetlanders. That's.
So Gahard is up. I guess he's downstairs in the tavern. He's not sitting on the really extra weird.
All right, I'm gonna head down the stairs then, and as soon as I see Gahard, I'm
eating.
taking a beeline straight towards him.
So Gahard, so you're downstairs in the tavern, you say?
Yeah, like eating breakfast.
Okay, all right. There is a sort of distance that most people are keeping from you, as they don't really know what the Aiel are all about. You're sort of mythological figures in most people's heads. There is in this town, people have come across Aiel before, but Aiel are very touchy and don't like to be talked to by wetlanders and do not like to be interacted with by wetlanders and tend to be very rude to anyone who is not an Aiel. So you're just they're just sort of keeping their distance. You're over there in the corner alone, having a nice meal. Well, not a nice meal. Everybody is on half rations right now.
Yep.
So you are having a sufficient meal.
A couple spoonfuls of gruel.
Well, that would be like 1/5 rations. No, it's like it's a bowl. It's just the stew is a little thinner.
There you go.
There's more water. There's more water in the stew than would necessarily be in the stew in other situations.
Okay.
There.
So I'm gonna approach the table and sit down. Guard.
Yes.
You undid a weave on the gate.
I believe that's what you could call it. I don't rightly know. I just acted.
Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? You could have killed everyone here. One wrong move and we would have all been dead.
Well, I'll keep it in mind for next time, I suppose.
How are you?
It felt
feeling?
right.
How? Do you have everything under control?
For now, but goal is starting to win.
I'm gonna look at Evan and just kind of give a little bit of an indication, like watch him.
Evan nods back, but then he turns to Gahard and, you danced the spears well yesterday.
Thank you.
We're down weapons. The gauge is strong. But this Sidene user is the problem.
Gahard, can you feel or see Sidene the way that I can see Sidar?
Maybe not in the exact same way, but I suspect similarly.
Yeah, because he is not trained to do it, it's much more sort of generalized for him. Like, you as an Aes Sedai can see magic. Anytime it's been, like, even if it's no longer there, you can see a residue. That somebody did something, you can sort of tell, like, which elements they were using. And because of your training, a lot of times you can sort of pick up on what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
if
what
not
the weave was.
specifically the spell was. There is also, anytime somebody is casting, you can literally see the weaves that they are using. Gahard, you have like a sense that Sidene was used, but no idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What it was. You can see, you like her, you can see weaves as the from the male half of the source.
I don't recognize them.
As they are. Well, no, you recognize what they are. Like, you can recognize which elements are being used.
Yeah.
But you don't have the training to sort of figure out what it is. You might be able to sort of, like, with an Arcana or an Intelligence check, you might be able to sort of
some intuition,
suss it out.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a whole bunch of fire and a little bit of wind, that's probably a fireball. You know,
Exactly.
If it's a whole bunch of air, you know, with a little bit of fire, that's probably like a lightning bolt. You know, things like that you sort of know, but more delicate things you wouldn't.
Gahard, I know that Callista Sedai can sense when other channelers are around. Do you think you could sense one who uses the male half?
I believe I can, just not as...
So you, because because of your inexperience, you would not necessarily be able to, like, you might sort of get a sense, but it would be sort of like sensing a family member is near. You know, nothing specific.
If they weren't actively channeling, obviously.
Yeah, if they're actively channeling, you can absolutely sense them, right?
Okay. I feel we need to try and find the saboteur first. I mean, it needs to be a number one.
Naturally.
If this person, thing, is taking down our work and trying to make us weakened, we have to stop them before we even think about fighting.
I never thought I would have wished for a red sister.
For those who don't know, the Red Ajah are their whole purpose is just to hunt down men who can channel and then make sure they never channel again. Either by cutting them off from their magic or by killing them.
No offense, Gahard, but we have no experience hunting men who can channel.
No, we don't.
As you are having this conversation, the guard captain sees you as he is entering. As he enters, everyone, because most of the people here are guards right now, this is where you are actually storing the vast majority of the foodstuffs for the city right now, and you are using they are using the tavern's kitchens to create stew and things like that to give out to the populace right now. So there are a lot of guards around. Everybody salutes as the guard captain comes in, and he salutes back to everyone, strides over to your table, seats himself, and says, "It is time. It is time to prepare for the siege."
Ajah Shainar.
Taishar Shinar. And you hear a sort of murmured Taishar Shinar from the rank and file soldiers.
Captain, who would have had access to the weapons?
Any of the soldiers.
Any.
They're stored in the barracks.
And we don't have a weapons master who oversees it?
We did. He died in the wagon train yesterday.
So we have 36 men who might have been our saboteurs.
I mean, they are not the only ones that enter and exit the barracks. You have washerwomen coming in and out. You've got
It would be a
deliveries being made. You've got... It could be anyone. I mean, good lord, it could even be the little orphans. Who knows? They run in and out of there all the time.
So essentially you don't have a very secure barracks.
There was never any need to have a secure barracks. Everyone in this city would lay down their lives to destroy a darkspawn.
Apparently not everyone.
The idea that there is one within our midst is more demoralizing than you can imagine.
Then we must find him.
They struck at the weapons. They struck at the gate. Where would be our next most vulnerable place? Probably the food.
Most likely.
The food would be... I think there might be several places.
Your thoughts, Captain?
I've been thinking long about exactly what we must do. The problems that we face. The diminishment of the guard. The untrained nature of the civilians. The food that we have at our disposal. I think it will be time, very shortly, to begin engaging the populace in helping us to defend the city before the siege begins.
Agreed.
Yes. We must fortify gates and do what we can.
So the
Before anything
first
happens.
decision of the day Will you remain on half rations?
At the moment, what food units are we down to?
We're 2,000, right?
Nope,
No,
we have
we've
got
food units.
1,650 food units
So
right now.
we're
Just
good
so
on
that
food.
everybody in chat understands what's going on right now. This is now a situation where they must manage their resources. The resources that they have available to them are guards, weapons, messenger birds, civilians, and units of food. Every day, things will happen that will either increase these resources or decrease these resources. This is some new information for my players, though.
Oh no.
The siege will happen in 20 days.
Will happen in 20 days, or it's going to go over
You
20
have
days?
We
you
have 20
have
days.
20 days to prepare. And there are now new types of resources for you to look at.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
There are currently your weapons. You have 60 swords. You may create bows.
Okay.
Wait, we may create
Civilians,
what?
Bows.
bows.
And I'm assuming
Civilians
arrows.
will be no, Lando,
Well, there's.
no arrows, just the bow.
Well, I thought. Okay.
Just have to smack it with the bow.
Separate resource, but okay.
We're just gonna start smacking people over the head.
Well, yeah. Okay.
This is my bow. It is now also a chopping stick.
There's
I thought
Yes,
maybe
there
we'd manage
is- yes,
arrows
it will be.
separately. Okay.
Oh, it's yes, you will get arrows.
You also need to track weight for arrows.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. How dare
Don't
you?
give
You
us
guys,
more
you guys
stuff.
read. I feel like a valid question, but
No, we're not being mean, Lando. There is. We're absolutely not. There
Stop giving us more
is.
stats, guys.
So now,
All right, create bows.
in addition to that, there is ballistas.
oh, okay. I was wondering if we might.
Ew, big
Oh.
ballistas.
How many?
We can create now. Here's the rough part.
Oh, no.
For every 50 civilians, they may accomplish one task in a day. So 50 civilians working together can create one sword or one bow. Ballistas take 20 times the work to create than a normal weapon would.
They got 20 days
So,
for 50 group.
yeah, if you have one group working, you can create one ballista before they get there.
Can we double up on civilians on the ballista, or is it limited
can.
to 50? Oh, we can.
And then
No,
okay,
no,
cut
you
in
can
half.
absolutely. You guys get to decide exactly how you want to set it up for next
Okay.
week's grand finale.
I do have a question about frolic
Hold
tech.
on one sec.
Yep.
So, weapons, what they will do. Here are what you can do with things. You have Hester and Sunil at your disposal. They can certainly help do things. If you tell me fabulous stories about how you are helping, what you are doing, we can make some fun things happen. We sure can. With the guards, every 5 days, one guard can train one civilian to fight and to use a weapon.
So that's
Weapons, if they are utilized properly, will do 1d6 damage instead of 1 damage. A civilian does 1 damage in a round. Weapons will allow them to take down larger things much more quickly as they are fighting in the streets. You may hunt and fish for food. You are on a river that is not poisoned. You may assign a group of 50 to do either thing. You may assign as many as you'd like. When they go out, they will not come back with a specific amount. They will come back, each group will come back with 1d100 units of food.
Okay.
So they may do very well, they may do very poorly.
Fair.
Every day, you may send 2 groups to fish, but that's the maximum.
But more can hunt.
Yes, you can absolutely send as many out to hunt. Now, mind you, they may run into Trala. But
The fishing is
if
safe.
you rely,
Or-
the fishing is safe. If you rely only on fishing, though, there is no way for you to survive more than about 12 days. You will simply not be generating enough food to keep everyone fed.
Sure.
Because if we do half rations, they'll at least have to get a 25 to break even.
Exactly.
Which is
So,
Yeah.
Now tell me, what questions do you have currently about what is going on?
Other than the front gate, what other ways are there into the city?
There is only the docks where you can fish, and Trollocs, you know, are loath to go in the water. And
don't
there
know.
is the gate. Now, you have seen gateways being created, so you know they will also have those at their disposal.
so they could just teleport into the city.
They might be able to, you don't know.
This might be out of Hesper and mine's ability, but could we create like a dome, like a protective dome over the city with spirit, or something like that with the 2 of us,
Anti-teleportation or something.
or
Is that what you're
like
thinking?
dispel magic, a dispel magic dome.
If you were to create something like that, you would need to tell me how that would work. You would need to tell me what you want to do and
Okay.
how you want to do it, and I would tell you how long it would take and whether you have the ability to do it at all.
Okay. It would probably need.
So the first thing I'm going to need from you, though, is I'm going to need an intelligence check from you.
Okay.
First roll of the day.
I need to see.
First roll.
First
Wow.
roll of the session, yay!
Oh,
We
great.
got this. We got this,
I'm
Callista.
sorry. Hold
Are you
on.
not linked up?
I'm apparently not linked to the D&D Beyond extension. Hold on.
You're a monster.
I'm so sorry. I thought I had everything ready. Didn't you said everything was ready?
Divorce him. Just divorce him right now, Haley.
Throw him under the
Are
bus.
you kidding me?
No. You're canceled, Weston.
You've been canceled. You've
She
been canceled.
does. She does that. She'll never eat again.
That is true.
Oh.
He is the only reason that I eat food. Okay.
I know how that feels, Haley. Don't
Hold
worry
on. I
about it.
downloaded
Yeah.
the extension.
Shouldn't have.
Can I do? There we go. Okay. Maybe. There we go. Did it do it?
18.
It did. It was
Solid.
18 intelligence. You could tell with an 18 when you have seen the gateways happen. You could tell that they are using all 5 elements in an incredibly complex pattern, which you cannot reproduce.
So essentially, there goes that idea.
You never know. There could definitely be things that you could come up with. I will leave that to you.
No, this. God damn it.
Now, Lando, if you could please refresh.
Ooh.
This
Holy frick,
is
this
the
is a big city.
interior of Falgorfan.
All right.
It's much bigger than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
There is over here. This is the area that you are in right now. Sorry, I'm not on the right. There we go. Now you can see it where I'm pinging over here.
Well, thank you, Danael. Bits.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
You get a +2. Callista, you get a +2. Do you want to use? I will. Would you like to use the +2 on your 18?
yes. So 20.
no.
With a 20, not only do you have you seen that it's all 5 elements that they are utilizing. You also know that if any of the elements were to be disrupted, that the spell would not function. It would unravel.
You only need to block it from one.
Yeah. Easiest one. Oh.
You could do fire in that.
We'll do fire or light.
You think on that one. So we've got, looking at this, we've got one main entrance. And
so
then...
there is one main entrance, and then right down here, like right over here, you can go through this tower here to get essentially to the docks out here.
Should I miss that way?
Oh, yes.
Oh, so the docks are not waterlocked. You could potentially go via land and around this area to the door.
They are waterlocked.
Okay.
There is, yes. This is not a perfect.
Okay. Just
so they
just
are,
check it. Okay.
They are waterlocked.
Okay. Cool.
So, DM.
In theory, they'd have to use a boat.
How many civilians would it take to build things similar to pickets? Spiked wooden poles pointing outward on the outside of the city.
On the outside of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that one unit could create one each day.
Yep.
Okay.
We're playing a war game.
The Shinarans...
Now the issue is where are you going to get the wood?
Yep.
I feel like I'm playing XCOM all over again.
Right.
I love XCOM.
We're gonna be flipping,
but I feel like it's
flipping back and forth between this and roleplay today, setting everything up so that you get to determine how this city is set up for the final battle.
What about oil? Like oil that can be lit on fire
and heated.
Is that a resource that we can use?
There is not. There's all the oil that they're using is for the lights, which you absolutely have to keep lit.
Have on.
If you do not have them, the Mirdrawl will literally just step right into the city and start murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there an area that's like where people live versus where like stores are at?
There is much of the town outside there. So there's these walls, these interior walls. This is where a lot of the barracks, the stables, the inns, like the markets all happen sort of in this area. A lot of this area, not all of it, but a lot of this area is sort of less necessary shops and housing.
I think one of the big questions we need to answer is, are we going to attempt to build it so that we can stop teleportation, or we have to build it to account for teleportation? 'Cause
Okay,
that's huge.
right now right now, I'm going to start kiboshing the metagaming. If you have questions and you want to discuss these things, you can roleplay them.
Okay.
You can certainly ask the DMs things if there are resources
Okay.
available.
I see what the distinction is.
Totally fine.
Okay.
There is, but actually trying to set up plans as though you are not your own characters, I think
100%
is
makes
totally
sense.
different.
Yep. Question. I guess this would be a question Gahar would ask. Are there any history of Frolic sieges? What tactics have they used in the past? If any, is this the first time? What can we expect?
This is you may give me not you, Aiel, because you were not part of the Trolloc Wars, but the Wetlander history of the Trolloc Wars. You might have some information about that. So intelligence or history checks. Give me some history checks.
Okay.
You can also give me a history check, Victoria.
I was also trying to ask the guard too, or the guard captain, if he knows, maybe.
He does not.
Okay.
Jeez.
He knows siege tactics in general.
Yeah.
Evan, you have been trained in war. You have been trained in the history of things. You remember that there were maybe 1 or 2 sieges, but all you sort of seem to remember is just that it was like they would create camps outside the city and then eventually they would just overrun the city.
Frolics are not thinkers. The Muldral will just set them and then they rush the location.
Yeah.
This is
and it
why
would just be waiting for all the reinforcements, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I can think of the most is to channel them, to put them into specific kill spots.
We could use the guards and civilians and create trenches.
Yes. Things like trenches, pickets.
Fill them with water so that then the Trollocs are not going to go in them.
I mean, Trollocs will go over water if it's not deep. It'd have to be deep. That would probably be
But
a
if
lot
they
of
have
work.
the option.
It would just be mud.
Yeah.
Wouldn't stay.
But mud could slow down. But more if you had pickets. Trenches help because they slow you down. And if we use that to channel them towards the front gate, and then
the question is,
put a lot of archers there.
Is the gate the only place we need to focus on?
I believe Evan and I saw this when we were out with the caravan. They have the ability to teleport in some way. I'm not completely sure how it happens. But if they can teleport within the city... I was able to see enough of the weave that I believe I understand theoretically how it was done. I don't believe I could recreate it, but if it's using all 5 elements to create the weave, a disruption with any of them would work to stop them from coming within the city. I would need Hesper's help with this. I can't do it myself.
While you are having that discussion, what is Victoria doing? What has she been doing this whole time?
Well, it seems like
Go get her.
neither Callista or Evan remembered that I never left Callista's side last week. So, I've been sleeping in the corner of Callista's room.
Nice.
Waking up, realizing Callista is no longer there, I will sprint down to try and find Evan. But seeing them at the table, I will just jump down the stairs and run up behind Callista and just hug her.
Oh, fabulous! Yay!
Victoria.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my hands on her and say, I wanted to let you sleep, dear. Are you okay?
Don't you dare ever do that again.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you, and I just kind of will take her hand and move her around to sit next to me.
Victoria, You have a certain skill set that I think allies itself well to getting into places you're not supposed to be in. Would that be true?
To some extent, yes.
If you were going to try to get into the city when it was locked, how would you get in?
Oh, I would probably figure out the guards' routines and climb over the wall. Essentially, figure out which point is the least defended and climb the walls, or, well, in my case, climb the walls, but some might just destroy the wall completely. Since there are less guards, it is seen as a team point to entry.
You know that Shinaran guards know that they must be alert at all times, and there is, even now, there is no moment where you don't have, there's no sort of changing of the guards. It's always overlapped, so there are always guards on the walls.
Captain, looking at the captain of the guard. The main points of entrance, then, are the dock and the front gate. Channeling aside, because there's not much that we can do about that, we need to define where the best places of defense are and where the weakest are.
If
He
we
looks
just
at you and he looks at you and he says, there are very specifically, this city is set up so that once you come in the main gate, the longest route is to the next gate. There is a huge wall specifically built for archers, so that as people are moving through the city towards the inner city gate, they will be pelted with arrows. So the most likely defensive position in the city will be the gates of the inner city.
Okay.
Sorry, it's hard to
Then
tell
what
on this map, but where's the main gate?
The main
Is it
gate is
here?
over here.
Okay,
Over here. Here is the gate to the inner city.
gotcha.
Here is the tavern that you are staying at.
Perfect.
Here's the orphanage. Here's the barracks and the stables and all that kind of stuff over here.
what's this walled section down on the bottom? I'm assuming the captain of the guard has thrown the map out of the city, right?
Yes, so this is the essentially the palace of the lord of the city.
Okay.
Here's what I would propose. We block the inner streets on the outside. So the outer city, there's a bunch of streets in the middle, and then there's 2 streets that go around the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Block off the streets in the middle, requiring the Trollocs, if they get in, to go around by the walls where archers can fire at them the whole time on their way to the inner city. If we are sieged, we would want to bring the civilians and into the inner city and make the outer city a kill zone.
Force them to come at us at pinch points,
Yes.
essentially.
Guard? Thoughts?
I think it is as good a plan as any. We have to be aware that at any time we can channel it, blow through a wall. But barring that, it's as good as planned as any.
That
The
will
guard
be up
captain
to...
looks at you. The guard captain looks at you and he says, strategically, yes, this makes sense.
So we will need to build pickets to send them towards the main gate, try and keep them from climbing the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Then let them... We kill as many as we can before they break through. Then when they break through, they have to go where we want them to
Mhm.
until they get to the inner city, which will then have another kill point.
We should
So we'll kill them all the way along.
we should set up several points to fall back to that are defended, where we can rain down arrows on them,
Yep.
retreat. We do that several times before we make the inner city.
That was our best bet.
Yes.
It would involve destroying and repurposing a good number of the homes, but
Agreed.
it is worth
Basically,
it.
anything that we can move easily goes first, and then we start in on.
And Aganike actually just supported us on Ko-Fi.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
They got us
thank
you.
you.
subscription for $9 a month.
Oh my
Well,
goodness!
Thank you so much.
You know what you get for that? If you're still in chat, fabulous, fabulous human. You, if you would like to, can give them a free ballista. You sure can.
Ooh.
If you want. If you want. You don't have to. If you want to watch them suffer and die, like I do, then you shouldn't do that. You can give me a ballista. You can give the DM a ballista too if you
Siege
want.
ballista.
No,
It's
frogs do not get
Ballista.
ballista.
gonna be great. Gonna be
Speaking-
great.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Oh, okay,
No.
fabulous. All right, you have. Tell me, where would you like to put your fresh ballista?
What do we know about ballistas?
They're ballistas. I'm sorry. Do I need to explain what a
Okay,
ballista is to you?
Okay, no, I know it's like a giant arrow, but like, isn't it mostly for anti-siege equipment? Isn't that
A
mostly what it's used for?
ballista? No. It's on. You have them on ships. You have them on the walls. It's shooting giant arrows at people that are trying to get into your city.
Shoot a merger all with a ballista.
They're basically like in fantasy movies. This is Haley talking. In fantasy movies, they're the giant arrow. They're like the dragon killers.
No, I get that, but I'm thinking, okay, how effective is that against infantry though? Because it's kind of
Lando, do you want to continue borrowing trouble, or should we play a game?
no. Okay, all right, fair enough.
It would be quite effective at taking out one of the Myrddraal, which would
I
then
can
take
just
out
say
his entire
no. I
troop.
mean, I can just not do ballistas.
No,
if that's
I'm-
what
No,
you're
we're going to
just
do
trying
the
to
ballistas.
understand.
I'm
Okay.
explaining
Okay.
to Gahard how it works.
No, so I am being hard on Lando because I know how this works. There is Lando. Please have faith in your DM.
Totally.
That there's a reason that you want to have ballistas on the wall.
Okay, cool.
You gotta take down those Durgar.
So, where would you like to put your new ballista?
What's its approximate range?
Probably at the front gate.
You can put it on any of the either square or circle spots on the map. If you want to, you can fill all of those with ballistas if you have enough time.
What's the approximate range?
Far enough to kill a Trolloc.
Yeah. I'd say
So-
the first one on the front
It's
gate.
like 120 and like 600.
Okay,
Something
so
like that.
so
Like
we
it's-
could put it here, and it would still be able to hit everything in the front gate. I'm trying to get a sense of how wide the map is.
There is so this is this right here is like a building. The whole city is probably, because it's walled, it's a small walled
Yeah.
city. So it's probably maybe like a couple thousand feet across. If that.
I'd
you
say
know.
right here. Oh, Josh, I can't do the ping.
Over here.
What? Over
Yeah,
here?
you could do it here, and then
No,
it could
I was
get.
saying here.
Right here?
Up
No,
here.
Yes.
yeah.
You can't do
Here
the
you can
ping
hit the
because you're on
front.
the measuring tool. That's why you can't do the ping. So you have to
I
click
think-
on the arrow. And then
Gotcha.
Still doesn't do it.
So if we did it
But yeah,
there,
from
it
there-
could shoot out
all
and
right,
then shoot in.
is that where
Yes.
we want to put the ballista?
Yep.
Yes,
All
I
right.
think that's a good spot.
From there, we can
Ballista.
hit them as we
Talking.
enter, all the way through to the inner city.
Yep.
Hold on just a moment. I am actually going to make this a little larger so that you can actually see it. There we go. You have
There.
got a ballista.
What? Okay.
Thank you.
In terms of resources, we don't have to account for the
Thank you,
bolts.
Aganike. That is thanks to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
We need to first take care of the food and make sure that everyone is fed. I think we should send alternating days of fishing and then sending a group out to hunt.
I think we should have people fish every day.
Yeah,
every day?
Fish every day.
Okay.
Well, we're going to make decisions day over day. So the first thing, now that we've gotten our first ballista, the first thing we are going to do is you are going to assign people for today. Day 1, you have 36 guards. You have Sunil, you have Hester, you have 16 civilian units.
Okay. So 1 unit out to hunt, 1 to
Might I have
fish.
Maybe
Yes,
should-
Victoria?
With the hunting, wouldn't it be better to have at least Evan or Gahad with them?
With the
Yes.
hunters?
Gahard,
As a
yes.
safety measure?
Yes. Gahard, would you be interested in doing that?
Also, I would send Sunil.
Or Sunil?
He is an accomplished hunter.
All right.
That is true.
It's just as a
I
safety
will
precaution.
say if you send Sunil or any of yourselves, if any of you go with the hunters, you will get to roll 2 D100s instead of 1 and combine the 2.
If both of us go, do we get? Is it an extra D100 or just per?
Yep. So for
Okay.
each, because what you all can do in in a siege situation, the amount of work that you can do is essentially the equivalent of 1 of 50 people. But in addition, if you tell me fabulous stories about what you're doing to help the city, you can do that. Civilians would not be able to.
Okay.
Say we send Sunil.
Yeah. Send Sunil. He's proven to be a good hunter.
But we should definitely do both fishing. That's safe and it's a guaranteed 2 D100s for 100 people.
I would say
All right. So
Okay.
we are going to say
2,
1
3.
hunter is going out.
And then 2 fish.
Fishing is 2. That leaves you with 13 people left. 13 units.
Should we begin the tasks of the bows?
We don't
We
have any
still need to
bows to
find-
start. No bows to start.
Mm,
0 bows.
Okay.
No,
Bows.
we
get
need to
ones,
build
we
up
need-
an entire,
We need like
a lot of them.
a ton.
a ton of them.
Okay. How many would you like to
Takes
sign?
5 days. So we would make 13 bow. Oh no, 1 day.
It takes 1 unit of people 1 day to make 1 weapon.
Okay.
So 5 units would create 5 bows.
Yes.
So in 20 days, how many is that? Maths.
So if you did 5 people in
20,
20
that's
days,
100.
that's 100.
It's 100 bows. That's
Yes.
more than we would need, considering we only have 36 guard.
Well,
So I
don't
would
forget
use
the
you also
guards
have
can train
into-
people.
The guards should also
Oh
train
yeah,
people.
guards can train people.
You in
Yes.
total have
So
8.
we're doing
100 people.
civilians first, and I'm not gonna let this discussion take forever. So
Right.
Yeah.
so what are you
Three.
doing? If I don't,
Three
in the
groups.
next, you've got 5 minutes. If you haven't decided in 5 minutes, anything you haven't decided on is just wasted for the day.
How many units do we have left?
13
13.
civilians, 36 guards, and Hester.
I can take a unit and practice them acrobatics to make them more movable.
What I would allow you to do is I would allow you to spend the day training someone with a bow,
Okay.
because that's a dexterity-based weapon.
One person?
That's cool.
Yes, if you train them, one person can in fact become a guard.
As opposed to 5 days if a guard trains them.
Yes.
So here's my thoughts. 3 units making bows. Then guards, if they are training, then they're not guarding. Is that the case?
No, they're
or-
also guarding. They're also
Oh, okay.
guarding. This is as they are guarding.
And
You're also
if we make more bows than we have guards, can civilians use the bows or no?
Any civilian can pick up a weapon. Yes. They would be doing, instead of doing 1 damage, they would be doing 1d3 damage instead of 1d6 though, because they're not trained.
D3?
10 seconds left.
Okay.
Or 10 minutes.
This is over 30 guards training.
3 minutes left.
So
Yep.
30 guards training.
For the whole time, they will train over 5 days, 10 to 60 people.
Yeah, the guards
So
should
we
just
have
train.
60 new guards.
So
Okay.
you can choose what they're going to do today.
Today they will train.
So
Yep.
how many?
Okay.
Have
All
all of them
guards.
train.
So
All the
35
guards.
of them, 35 guards are training. So I'm going to say that because they can train, what that will mean is that you get 7 new guards for the day. 5 guards training will give you 1. So you now have, with that, 41 guards.
And
Look at
then
you.
5 bows a day, so that leaves 8.
You're
And
going
then
to do
I
5
want-
bows today?
I thought we were doing 3.
3. We're doing 3 units.
Okay, what else
Three
are we going to
bows?
use them for?
You have 10 units
And then
left.
the-
Swords?
Building ballista.
Ballistas, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
How many
And
are you
then we
doing,
want
ballista?
fortifications, making difficult terrain everywhere but by the front entrance.
2
Entrance in the
minutes.
front.
Yeah. So how many units do we have? 2 units on the ballista?
Yeah.
Civilians?
Yes.
2
2 on
units?
ballista.
Okay.
And the last aid would help make
2 on the
difficult terrain.
ballista, and then the rest beginning to pull out.
Make the fortifications within the...
Yeah, the fortifications
outer
and making the
city.
difficult terrain within the city.
All right,
Except for the
for
main path.
pickets, it will take 1 unit can create 1 picket.
Yep.
And how many? All right, so that leaves 2, 4, 7, 8. So 8 units are creating pickets.
Okay.
If we make all the pickets, then they can be repurposed next day.
Sure.
All right.
I'm wondering if we should do more something like
1 minute.
like
1 minute left. Like what?
barricades of like chairs and tables and
Yeah, well,
That's the type of
that's-
thing that we're doing.
part of it
That-
with...
Like
that's
mids.
Yeah,
picket.
okay.
That's picket.
That's the pick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's
right, then I
call
got
that
you.
And we'd
all
like to have
picket.
several of them,
Got you.
like 5 stations of things to fall back to before they reach the main gate. So whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start it at the
we're-
front.
feel free to discuss whatever you want. You still have an Aes Sedai that's just sleeping the day away. And you have
I
1
thought
minute
she was
to
still
decide.
resting.
You get to use her.
Oh,
Can you 2 work on anti-teleportation?
yes, but we wouldn't want to actually put that up until closer to the actual day of the siege that we know might be coming.
And
I
you
want
guys,
her to use her abilities to try and strengthen the wood of the front gate.
And that's it. Hester is wasted today.
I like
Oh, I
it.
just said it.
Now, all right. So I need you to roll me because Sunil is going out with them. 4 D100s, please.
Who's rolling those?
I got you. 291.
Holy cow. 95.
Very nice.
67,
291 units of food brought back. Fantastic. Good job,
That's
hunters
amazing.
and all. That is delightful. Let me pop over here. 291. And
Wait, shoot. Even if
We-
we did half rations, we're still losing food.
Yeah, we need to go down to third or
Absolutely.
quarter rations.
Need to go to quarter ration.
So today you're going to stay on half rations, which
Mhm.
means
Mhm.
400 are gone now. There you go.
Mhm.
So you're back down to 1,541 units.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That is the task for the first day. You now have 8 pickets to put out.
Okay.
Great.
And sorry,
You've got some new. Yes.
When you say a picket, you mean like a fortified area, or like one?
It is. These are civilians essentially tearing apart their own homes to create defenses. So this is all going to be very improvised.
Of course.
Yeah, this
it's
is
just
like
a
Les Mis.
blockade.
Okay, that's what
It's
I
a
thought.
blockade.
Okay.
It's like Les Mis, if you've ever seen that show.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
It's
I
like
just wanted to check.
With that,
So where are those going though?
I'm wanting right here.
You
You can
did-
see that.
Wait, did I just see
Up
you
here.
blink? Oh no. Okay.
If you want to completely block off like one end of a street, one picket isn't going to do it.
Okay.
You're probably going to need about 5 pickets to fully sort of block a street.
Okay.
Then let's do 5 pickets right there.
Do it right there, or yeah.
And
Yep.
then
Yeah.
the other 3 here.
No,
No.
well, yeah, do we want to send them all
Here?
one direction? There.
I'm thinking more there. Yeah, the
So
second.
that they have
yeah,
to
there.
go. They have to go this way, down and around.
They either have to come here, or they have
Alright.
to go here.
I mean,
You now
yeah.
have a picket there. You do not have enough to set up a second
Okay.
choke
Not completely.
point.
We'll
Yeah.
use
We
we'll
need
use
to-
the 3 remaining here, then fill in the rest.
The next day we'll
Come on.
do.
Also,
So put it.
one
put
thing
it
that
across.
Evan talking to the captain, I think it would be wise to consolidate the civilians. Since we're going to be tearing apart homes and businesses, I think it would be wise if we had them brought more to a central area to sleep. It would also allow us to watch those that are there for any problematic business.
Sure.
Gahard could be there to sense things.
So you've done the your plans for the day. Now it's time for the 4 of you. Victoria, are you training someone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then I'm going to add 1 more guard, and unfortunately that is all you get to do today. But we now have an Aiel, an Aes Sedai, and a warder. What are you going to do now that you've made plans for today?
So we get to choose what we're doing now.
Well, you get to roleplay something if you'd like.
Yeah.
For instance, figuring out what's going on.
One thing that Evan would like to do is I would like to see the stores of food. I think it would be wise to have both Callista and Gahard, whenever possible, to check in on this food and see if there are any weaves being done to the
Mhm.
food.
I agree, actually.
Yes.
I'd also like to walk the barracks.
Wise.
Are you all 3 going together?
I think we will.
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave, is the merchant here? Is he in the inn?
Is he in
You
his
do
top?
see the merchant. You do see the merchant. He is actually in the kitchen helping to cook.
Oh wow. Okay.
Evan's gonna walk up to him. It was Martin, right?
Martine.
He's gonna walk up to Martin. Sir, I know you are quite busy and things are dire. But I was wondering, I asked you the other day about cloth in a certain color.
Yes.
Is that something that you might have?
Not with me. All of my caravans have been destroyed.
And nothing in the city?
Maybe. I honestly have no idea.
I'm just interested in possibly having something made with it. That is all. Well,
Certainly.
Thank you for your time.
Certainly, yes. Yes, if I can get it to you, if I see anything, I will happily do so.
Thank you very much. And then he'll follow back with Callista and Gahard.
All right, as you are looking through the stores of food, you don't see any weaves. Either one of you, it doesn't seem like there's anything going on right now. But Callista, you can give me an Arcana check, if you would like. Ooh.
20, solid.
You
Nice.
recall that when you were unaccepted, that one of your teachers actually took you down into the bowels of Tarvalin and showed you some of the more permanent weaves in place. And one of them was actually a weave that utilized majority of fire and a little bit of spirit to keep pests and vermin away.
That's lore true.
Okay.
You remember that spell. You could in fact create it right now, but you may give me this will be a multi-check to see if you can figure out how to tie a weave off.
Is there any,
Jeez.
since I know how to do that, is there any
Nope, there's
over at
no
all?
way for
Okay.
you to teach her. There's absolutely
Totally
you,
different
you
magic.
literally
Pointers? Okay.
you don't even understand the same. It's not even the same language
Gotcha. Okay.
that you would be speaking to her
Gotcha.
about
Okay.
that.
What kind of a check are you wanting?
All right, chat.
I
Time
would
for some
like-
plus views and advantages.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Hey, chat, this would be a
Oh, yeah.
fun time to give them, like, use them channel points. There's,
Actually, no.
you may give me an Arcana check and a History check. Wait, an Arcana check, a History check, and an Insight check to see if you remember what the weave looked like when it was tied off in Tarvalin.
Okay. So an Arcana check?
Oh, you've got, yes, so start with an Arcana check. You may use advantage on any of them. The Arcana check, 15 is fine for that, because
Okay.
you're just remembering that it exists, that this is a thing that can happen, right?
Okay.
Next, I'm going to need an insight of 18.
There we go.
You definitely do remember that. Now I need the history check to see if you can tie it all together in your mind. Oh, you do have
I'm gonna use
advantage on this roll, though. You do
And,
have
and another +2.
Ooh, fantastic! Thank you.
Heck
yeah.
Okay, so I'm
So
gonna
re-roll that.
yeah, so I'm gonna re-roll.
Oh yes.
And then
Oh, yeah.
add my
Oh,
plus
that's
2.
a 19.
And a +2. You
21.
get. Oh.
So with my plus 2 is a 21.
That is amazing. Yes. I want you to tell me the story of how you remembered this and how you, as you are doing this weave over the food, how you make it happen.
Okay. As I'm standing there looking at the food, I have this like tickle in the back of my brain telling me, you know something. There's something there. And as I allow my mind to kind of wander down the pathways to find it, I remember going into the bowels of Tarvalin and finding with my sister this beautiful weave that surrounded and protected the food that was there and protected the things that were there against tampering and vermin. So I am going to turn to Evan and Gahard and say, I believe I can help with this, but I might need a minute.
Take your time.
Of course.
I'm going to try and protect the food. So, quiet my mind and I surrender to Saidar and I allow the memories to just float without any force or pressure. They bubble to the top of my mind and I'm able to see the weave that happened with the fire and a little bit of air circulating. And as I watch that dance almost, I see them coming together and I mimic the way that I imagine the hands would have moved and the weaves would have connected to create a shimmering light dome that goes over the food, and at the right angles you can see occasional little flickers of flame.
I love it. As you do this, you realize that there is where you are holding these weaves of air and fire and spirit. Where they come together closest to you, you recognize that you can in fact braid them together and tie them off so that you will not have to maintain them any longer. And as you do that, you have gained a new power. The ability to make concentration spells permanent.
Ew.
Some ball of flame can be really nice.
Nice!
And with that, now things get very interesting, because what can you create that you can then tie off? And now that you have this fabulous new ability to help create the defenses for this city, we shall take a 5-minute break right this very moment. Yay!
No!
Already? Jeez. Right.
So
Okay.
yes, we will be back in just a sec. Hey everybody, if you want to help support us, please feel free to go to our Ko-fi and sign up. We are also collecting right now. We are about to start a foundation called the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. Right now, we are pulling together the money so that we can actually file it as a 501c3. If you would like to help support inclusivity in our fabulous, fabulous community, then please feel free to go over, throw a little cup of inspiration our way. Every little bit helps. And we thank you very much. We will be back in 5 minutes.
All right. Hey,
Welcome back, everybody!
welcome
Yay! So,
What?
Callista has
Oh.
just protected the food from pests of all kinds. Callista, what you have in fact done is you have in fact created a barrier around the entire tavern that stops pests from getting in, and because you are much more powerful with fire than the other elements, you may roll me a D100, please.
Hey. Just a second. Just one? Just one.
Just one. D100.
Ooh,
90.
90, solid.
As you
It's either
are
good or bad.
casting this spell, as you tie it, as the minute you tie it off and complete casting the spell, you start hearing this horrific screeching throughout the tavern and the inn as rats from all over the place, including the cellar, come screeching from everywhere, trying to escape what you have just done. But before they can get anywhere,
Zap, zap.
you realize that you start smelling cooking meat, and you realize that you have just cooked all of these rats from the inside.
How much does that add to our food rations?
Yeah, I was saying, are they edible?
If you want. There were a lot of rats. It is 90 units of food if you want
Awesome.
to eat rats.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we might start having to
Is
eat
it
leather.
Can it be like diseased and stuff?
We cook it
It's
well.
very well cooked.
Yeah,
It's
you
well
cooked it really
cooked.
good.
I mean, my magic's really strong, so like it makes sense.
You killed all the germs.
Once
We're
again,
in
glad I'm not hit
siege.
by this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
There we
would
go.
you like to add that?
Yes.
Yes, we are
Alright.
adding
Yeah.
that.
You know,
I'm gonna have to throw
add
this
it to
in.
the
Now.
stew.
You have protected the food. Huzzah! Now.
And got more food.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, now.
Thank you, Danielle.
What are you gonna do? Oh, thank you, Danielle. Yay! Oh, Snowflake, you get a +2. You sure do.
Yeah.
Now.
I think I have 4 in total now.
I love it. What's next for you?
The next most important thing is we have to
Oh,
find.
and Evan gets 1 too. Yay!
Oh,
You get
yay.
+2.
Very nice.
This is
Aw.
Oprah. You get a +2. You get a +2. You get a
That's
+2.
right. All right.
We need to find the saboteur.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
No
thank you,
member-
Edgar gets
Danielle.
one.
Yay, heart.
That's a lot of love.
Oh.
Ugly.
All the
but it's-
love.
Danielle. Can't handle it.
All right, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
You want to gather everyone into the city center?
Well, I want to. Yes, we need to be able to watch everyone. So having everyone gathered and sleeping and living mainly inside of the inner gate would be wise. But I think we need to check all the guards and all of their equipment, which would give Gahard a chance to get next to every guard.
True.
All right. So, first things first. Most of the townsfolk are busy doing other things. Would you like them to stop doing what they are doing?
No.
All right.
My
Then
plan.
you will not be able to collect all of them until nightfall.
Correct.
Yes.
All right.
I do
During the
gather
day,
at
though,
nightfall.
tell me, what are you doing with the guard? Are you pulling them off the walls?
The question is, what are we changing from what we did yesterday?
Well, no, we're not on the new day. We're still on the same day, right?
Yes, you are
Gotcha.
role-playing this day.
Gotcha.
I'm going to
So-
say that you are going to have another 8 minutes to roleplay this before we move on to tomorrow.
Okay.
Evan's going to, look at Garden and Calista. I say we go back to the captain of the guard and ask him to take us on a tour of all the fortifications and introduce us to the guards as we go. This would give us that chance to meet them in a non-threatening way, to
Mhm.
see the fortifications, and Gahard to hopefully have you sense something. What think you?
Yep. We can.
Yerp.
Yo.
So I was reading chat.
Yerp.
I agree. I think that's the best thing for us to do at the moment, and it will give me a chance to see where I can fortify the city with something.
Certainly. So you
We head back
manage
to
to you start touring the walls, which is where the vast majority of the guards are right now. Some are helping to train in their off time villagers how to use swords and bows. But you do manage over the course of several hours, you do manage to get in front of every single soldier. First, the soldiers appreciate that an Aes Sedai is taking an interest in how she is going to be helping to defend this town. They are bolstered in spirit because of this. They appreciate you, and you start to hear little cheers from individuals of Taishar, Tarvalin.
Hi, Shar.
And you sense no Sidene anywhere on the walls or with any of the guards.
Well, that rules them out. It must be one of the civilians.
Gahard, how confident are you in your ability to sense this, though?
In terms of whether or not it is one of the guards and missed it.
Yes.
Not as confident as I'd like to be, but certain as I. Like
The next step
ourselves is not going to.
Next step is the rest of the civilians, which, if we can convince them to all group together for safety, for managing of resources, we can watch them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. Are you going to let the civilians know that there is a dark friend channeler amongst
No.
them?
No.
No. For sure, no on that one.
Absolutely not.
Nope. That's a big nah.
I will go to the captain, though, and ask him, you are the leader of these people. They will listen to you. I will tell him our plan for trying to find the saboteur. Do you think we could convince them to group together?
We could certainly do that if we tell them that we are readying ourselves for the siege. They would understand what that means. Sleeping in closer quarters, protecting each other in the night. Absolutely.
Allow us to light that area even more, less shadows.
Mm-hmm.
We can certainly do that.
I say this is the best plan.
Agreed.
But
At this,
All right. So you have dealt with the tavern. You have dealt with the food. You have gone on a tour of the walls. Is there anything else that you'd like to do today?
I would like to go over to the barracks and to the armory and see if I can do some semblance of protection on that as well from possible magic interference.
Is everyone with you?
I could go by myself.
I would be with you.
Okay, Evan would be with me. And if possible, I might have to send you to go get Hesper to help with this. But that's what I would like to go do.
So it's just you and your warder.
Me and my warder.
I'm training someone.
what time
That's
is
right,
it?
you
what time
are.
is it roughly?
It's like early afternoon.
Okay, then I would go too. At night I'm gonna look at the people
Like,
Assume while you are role playing. Assume that while you are role playing, it is daytime, and then I will let you know when nighttime hits.
Perfect. Yeah,
Right.
I'll go.
All right. So if you are going with them, you enter the armory. You sense something, Gahard. Someone was just channeling, a male was just channeling in here.
Shoot.
But you cannot see them. There is a window open high up on the wall of the armory.
Is it accessible?
It's about 10 feet up.
he needs to tell us what he's feeling first.
They were here just now.
What?
Saboteur was here just now. He whispers.
Where? What direction?
You may give me a. You can just sort of feel Sidene a little in the room, like somebody was very recently channeling, but you can't see any weaves. But you may give me, both the warder and the Aiel may give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Come on, baby. Oh.
I remember
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that's
damn!
another one.
I have +9 and it's a crit fail.
Damn.
Good lord.
Anybody want to give him a reroll? Like, we can absolutely do a reroll on that.
Sure.
Oh man.
GM, I wonder, could I possibly use survival, like to look for traces?
You would need to do, so that would be an investigation check, not a survival check.
Okay.
But I still need you to do a perception
And,
check.
and I see
With
that.
it.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, bless you. And
Oh,
so,
Snowflake, thank you.
is that
All
a
right, let's
reroll at
reroll
disadvantage?
that. Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
It is
I
still a
keep rolling and
disadvantage.
I'm not getting it.
Is it because you're a monster?
There we go. Oh,
20.
That's
Oh.
Gahard. Okay, so
Victoria saving the
Gahard.
day once again.
hey,
Gahard.
your thing's not working?
The problem is my button to give disadvantage is the same thing as another option, so
You can just roll it twice.
You can
Okay,
roll-
so you
Yeah.
got a 14. All right. There is, all right. Evan, you do not sense anything in the room.
I got a
Gahard,
+2.
you what?
Can I add my +2 to it?
If you would like to, you certainly may.
Do you want 2 more?
Oh. Hold on.
Now, mind you, Gahard got
I
a
got a 21.
21.
We're probably good.
Yeah.
on his perception.
He's gonna hold
I
it.
hadn't seen that yet. I'll hold on to it.
I feel like you're okay. There's Gahard. Someone is in the room. You can smell them.
Abio.
What do they smell like?
They smell like very inexpensive soap.
Okay, cool. Even if they get away, we have at least something that can be compared to.
What are you gonna do?
What? What are
Um,
you?
What does the room look like?
The room is laid out like a typical armory. There are shelves around the edges that contain things like armor shields, all of that kind of stuff, gloves. Then throughout the room, there are racks of weapons, and along the walls as well.
Sorry, I was sorry. More like the layout, like the exits. So obviously where we
there
came
is
in,
only the door that you came in, and then the windows along one side of the armory.
on one wall, the windows
Yes,
are? Okay. How tall? You said 10 feet up?
10 feet.
Okay. Gahard is going to cast Wall of Wind up and block the windows with the Wall of Wind.
Oh.
Well, okay. The wall of wind comes from you. You understand that, right? You can choose which direction it goes. Oh wait, wall of wind, not gust of wind.
Yeah, wall.
All right. Okay. Certainly, you can do that.
Spell magic.
Fabulous. There is as you do that first, what is your Sidene count?
It is. I have it as only 4, but that seems low. I've been trying to do a good job keeping track.
I saved your ass last time.
That's right. Okay,
remember
so
you got
it
an
is.
environmental effect.
It is kind of low. So that'll be a 5. Let me update that real quick. Trying
All right.
to do good with that.
Give me that roll.
And
Give me that roll,
save.
please.
13.
All right. So you are not confused at this point.
Yay!
Good for not being confused.
All right.
And he's gonna
All right. The
tie it
wall
off.
of wind is there. All right. The
Actually,
wall of wind is there.
No, he's not gonna tie it off. Just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The wall of wind is there. It is now, because you have created that much wind in the room, though, it is now circulating the air dramatically, and you can no longer tell where the smell is coming from.
Is the dust that's in the room not covering them, not creating some issue for their invisibility?
I mean, it's dust. You do not see anything out of the ordinary.
So Evan
Block
at the door.
I'll block the door. Pull out my sword.
Yeah, I'll pull out my short swords. Just
Okay.
honestly, I'm not sure what else to do.
With my it's mage hand, but with the air that you are. Oh wait, no, I can't. No, yes. So with the air that you are using, Gahard, I'm going to take a weave and just kind of pull a little bit of air out and move it along the wall.
A few things happen as soon as you start trying to use his air for you.
Oh dear.
First, Gahard, you feel your control of Sidene. You feel it starting to be pulled in some direction. Will you allow it to happen?
No, he's gonna think it's the other channeler.
It is. You can absolutely tell that it is not.
Okay, then he'll let it happen then.
All right,
What does that
Haley.
mean? What does that mean?
No idea.
You'll find out.
As you begin channeling, you grab at a weave. You grab at a strand of air that is being held by Gahard. Suddenly, you feel as you travel from the strand to the source that you can grasp. You can connect to Gahard. Do you do it?
Yes. Yes. I'll go with
You
yes.
have rediscovered a lost art of the Aes Sedai, the way that Aes Sedai could accomplish so many phenomenal feats in the Age of Legends was because they utilized both Saidar and Sidene together. But something that has been lost in time is the knowledge that to create a circle between any number of channelers. The man must surrender his control to the woman. Only a woman may direct the flows. You now have a new ability. You and Gahard may connect to each other to do
Yes.
astonishing things with your abilities. But, Callista Sedai, you
Yes.
have never touched Sidene before.
Nope.
I need a wisdom save
nasty.
and a constitution save from you.
Do I feel this?
It's pretty gross.
Wisdom save. Ooh, constitution save. You fail.
Oh wait, but there's advantage.
Does she have my 4+2s?
You may use
No.
2 of the +2s to succeed if you want.
I can give you advantage first.
Yes.
See how it
Yes.
Pick a choice.
Oh, wait.
Pick a choice. I don't care. Pick a choice.
Okay. Well, I'll re-roll. I'll re-roll. Hold on.
All
That
right.
was only a 5.
Give me another constitution
Your con
save.
save is great.
There we go.
Oh my god.
20. Fabulous. As you touch Sidene, you are used to allowing Sidar to enter you and surrender to it. And in that surrender, you gain control of it. You may guide it as the banks of a river guide the water. That is how you are used to dealing with magic. All of a sudden, you feel like you are being slammed in the face with an avalanche of flaming boulders. You feel like your bones are being crushed to nothing. You are terrified for a moment until you realize this is Sidene. This is what Sidene feels like. You must control a volcanic eruption of power every time you want to do anything. That is the power. And combined with Sidar, you can do anything with this. You managed the wisdom save to understand what was happening in this moment and the constitution necessary to maintain control of this. But what you see now is a connection between the two. If the two of you combine forces, Haley, you will be able to utilize any spell on your sheet and any spell on Gahard's sheet. And all effect of either spell will be doubled. In addition, but that means Gahard has no agency at all in decisions. He can do nothing except supply you the power. And at any point, Gahard may just decide to stop channeling Sidene. Now, this is different, but I want to give him a little agency here. Normally, the woman determines how long.
Yeah.
Like she's
The
the
books,
one.
You can't let go.
Yeah, you can't. Normally in the books, you can't let go. In this situation, I will allow you to.
Appreciate.
There is. But,
Where's calendar when you need it?
Okay, I don't mind just being a battery. It's fine. Fine. Just do cool things.
Now that you can use both, you suddenly sense that there is a void in the room. There is something that you cannot sense with either Sidar or Sidene. Give me... this is going to be difficult. Give me
Reach for it.
an Arcana check and an investigation check.
Okay.
Can I get
Let's see.
advantage?
Ooh, investigation. Oh, you did. You are very confused about what is happening right now. This is your first time with Sidene. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. This is. You're working real hard at this.
It's new. Come on.
All
Oh, you got
right.
advantage.
Oh,
You got
somebody gave you advantage.
Pick
You're
one.
welcome.
Pick one. Sniveling gave you advantage.
Oh, and then there's another advantage.
Oh
You
my
have-
God, see, may reroll
Oh,
each
come
of
Okay,
them.
so I'm gonna redo both of them.
Oh wow, crazy! Oh, and then,
Who
and
would have
then,
thought?
and then we got a
Another
third
one.
advantage.
A 19. All right. There is a void in this room, and you suddenly realize the void is a shield of some kind. Just for tiny little moments, you can suddenly see just the thinnest breath of Sidene. But somehow the weave has been inverted, so you cannot see it. All you can sense is that void.
I want to like slice through it.
You may absolutely do that. You take
I don't know how.
a spirit.
Spirit.
Do you have a third level spell slot available?
Yes,
Do you have either dispel magic or counterspell available?
I have dispel magic,
All right.
which is what I was gonna do, but then like Gahard decided to do like all this other stuff.
Right. There is, well, you by yourself, it would have had no effect because you would not have been able to figure out where it was.
True.
Sidar. Or Sidene.
But because you have connected now, you may utilize dispel magic, creating a weave of spirit. You cast it directly at this void. I need everyone in the room to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, great, I'm safe.
I have advantage.
Gahart, you're
21.
good with a 21. You're fine.
Do I need to do it too?
You absolutely do, yes.
You still have
Ooh,
an advantage.
Kalista. All right. Evan
Oh,
and
jeez.
Gahard.
You had
Still
another
missing advantage.
advantage from before.
Oh my God! All right, Kalista, give me the
I did. Oh, I did. That's true.
I'm
Okay,
absolutely
hold
gonna
on.
put the kibosh on these advantages pretty soon.
Oh, no, that much
I'm
better.
sorry. I'm sorry,
Plus
my
two?
dear. You may use 2 of the plus 2s if you'd like.
Okay,
Good.
yes, let's do that. 16.
All right, fabulous. You all make the dexterity save. You realize just too late, Kalista, that you essentially were cutting into someone else's weave blindly. You unraveled the spell instead of dispelling it. As this happens, a wave
No, it's not
of
good.
elemental forces start whipping through the room. You see little bits of flame and frost and lightning suddenly appear with no seeming rhyme or reason. And you watch as someone on the other side of the room is thrown against the wall. Each of you takes 5 damage, 1 damage for each element.
Can I
And-
use my absorb elements?
You may certainly use your absorb elements to absorb 1 type of damage, 1 of them. So you could reduce it by 1 if you would like to. That's
We're going to
fine.
go to 4 instead of 5.
Okay, I won't use it then.
Now,
Oh, however, am I within 10 feet of her?
at this point, I would say yes.
I actually can decrease. I kind of jump over and let the spark away from her with my sword, because I can deflect 1d10 of damage.
Fabulous. Do it. And as you do it, I will just say that you managed to do that. You absorb all the damage, so she is no longer going to have to do a concentration check. But as that is happening, you watch Hauster the Orphan appear.
I knew it!
As he is slammed
Little bastard.
against the wall. The little orphan that was helping the guards destroyed so much of the city. You see a weave of Sidene fall away. He is much older than he looks. He laughs at you. You're all going to die in here.
Evan rushes him.
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Alright.
All right. Before you can get to him, he creates a gateway. You just barely manage to not have your arm cut off as this gateway is forming. You hear him laughing as he steps through and the gateway closes. No, you will be facing him next week as Hamilton from Dragon Duels joins us as the male channeler.
Oh,
my
the bastard! Oh man, that's awesome.
Blade villain. Ugh.
You have discovered the source of Sidene.
And you told me I shouldn't be mean to him? I knew he was a brat.
Well, at least he's out of the way now. I need to do the protection over the city sooner than later.
You begin hearing screams from next door.
Alright, we run next door.
Over there.
Arrows knocked.
Are you still connected?
I should do the short swords.
Are we connected still? Oh shit.
Question about that. Obviously I can't cast magic. Physically, how am I?
You can't do
also...
anything.
Okay.
You are going to be like, if you are helping her channel, it's essentially both of you are using your turns together to amplify an effect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna release his weave and
certainly fabulous.
kind of let him have it back. And I'm going to, as we are now running.
I'm going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. It's going to be a Constitution check every single time you release it, because this is incredibly different.
That's a crit.
That's a crit success.
That was a crit.
Fabulous. All right. So you release it back to him. It very gently comes back to you, Gahard. There's no sort of rebounding effect. And are you all heading over to?
Yeah. He's gonna drop the wall of wind.
Victoria,
while we do run that,
you may join because you hear the screaming as well.
I'll just quickly tell the person I'm training, keep doing what you're doing.
Be right back.
I'll be back real quick. And just storm off towards the screaming.
It is coming from the orphanage.
Alright. Short sword's drawn. He's gonna run.
Evan's running with a sword out.
I'm running.
Skirts held up.
With
I'm taking
magic.
it the quickest way possible, even if that requires all buildings.
You all race towards the sound of the screaming along with several guards. As you burst into the orphanage, You see Hauser once again. Gateway formed, leaving. You look to the walls and the floor. Something is very different. You realize
All the blood.
Decorative body part.
every orphan has been flayed alive. Their skin has been torn off and splattered against the walls. You hear Gahad, you hear him laughing through the portal as it closes.
As soon as we get there and see this, I would like to try and send like a firebolt at him as he's going into the gateway.
You may absolutely do that. Give me an attack roll, please.
Penny.
An 11. Sadly, you miss.
Isn't it?
It slams into a stone wall, leaving a scorch mark.
We are going to need more than you on this protection against gateways. That's going to require you and Gahard, because we cannot protect just from Sidar.
No, you're right.
Look, he takes Callista out of the room. I will notify the guard captain to clean up.
Yes, of course. Victoria,
Hmm? Yes.
come away, dear. You don't need to see this.
But I have.
Esper Sedai
must-
appears, asking what's going on.
Sister,
Be careful.
look behind us.
She looks inside. She sighs. She says, "This is why we destroy the Dark Friends."
Wherever we find them.
This is why we fight.
She then looks to you, Callista, and she says, "What was that I felt earlier? An astonishing amount of Sidar being channeled."
I managed, and I look kind of confused almost at Gahard, and I say, I managed to connect to Gahard here, who is a Sidene user. And it created
So the first
something...
thing, so she stops.
I don't know.
She's like, "Excuse me? There is a male channeler here? Dear
We're in
God."
a state of war. I'm not going to keep freaking secrets.
I'll draw my knife and point it towards him,
That's
touch
great.
him, and this end goes in.
Wait, towards me?
No, towards her.
Oh, okay. This was like,
I'm
you see me
currently
channel, bro. I was like, what? Like, you're in the know.
It's like, what is happening? She's like, and you, wait, how did you even do that?
Honestly, I'm not totally sure. I
So do
reached out and I felt his weave and I grabbed it, and suddenly it was more powerful than anything I'd ever felt before. It was like an avalanche and a waterfall all at the same time.
So guys, this might not be a discussion for public.
There are definitely some people who are now whispering about what's going on.
All right, yeah. Let's go back.
We're right next to the inn.
Let's go back to the inn and discuss this further.
As you head back to the inn, Hesper steps across the barrier of Sidar, the rat barrier that you created. And she
Mhm.
looks at you and she says, I was studying this. First of all, she's astonished that you managed to tie off your weave, because that is pretty advanced. Like, it takes a very powerful Aes Sedai to do that. A lot of strength. She says, I think if we have enough power, I think we could use this on the whole city.
That was my thinking as well. And we need to do it sooner rather than later, obviously.
Tell her
Three
about
of
the
us
gateways.
could do it.
The what?
Tell her about the gateways. I don't think she has seen that.
Okay. The gate. Somehow, they are getting in through gateways they're creating and jumping in and out. I understand it theoretically, maybe you understand it better, but they're using all 5 and creating a weave to basically rip open a gateway. And it destroys anything that it is with and touches.
I have done it once, but I do not know how
Wait, that's why you
Gahard,
suddenly disappeared.
That's right. That's right. He left you alone
Right.
to get back.
It was an accident!
Where'd he go?
I just had spidey
Hey.
senses and just reacted.
You left me alone. At a brutal
My
pace.
magic's like an avalanche, okay? Give me a break.
Well, you know what they say, the snowflake falls and causes an avalanche.
Right?
That's right.
Hey!
That's right. There is so. You may give me an intelligence check, Gahard.
That's 14.
Ooh.
Would you like to use any of your plus 2? I think
Yeah.
you've got 2 left.
Yeah, we'll do 2.
All right. So with a 16 or with an 18, you are able to not recall exactly how to make a gateway, but you can recall some of it. Enough that if you combined with both of the Aes Sedai, you could probably create a weave over the city that would stop intrusion.
That we could tie off?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We are doing that.
Yep, that's the first thing we're gonna do.
Do
As soon as Garv realizes that, like, let's do that now. All
Well, I
our
guess we know what you
plans
guys
will
are
be
doing
ruined
tomorrow.
by people jumping in to the portal.
So that'll definitely be the thing that you guys do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that for today, you have done all that you can do.
Mhm.
You have prepared much of the city for the siege.
Oh.
And now, after having...
There was one
Or-
last thing
Yes?
we had talked to the captain about getting everyone together that
Oh.
night.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it's less important now that we found the
Yeah, we
saboteur,
kind of
but
figured it out though.
I still think that we should be cautious.
Sure.
Well,
That's probably true.
We
it's safe for all of us to be together anyway.
We can absolutely do that.
And there might be a second one. Who knows? Probably not, but maybe. We're checking.
Evan is cautious.
Fabulous.
better safe than sorry.
This evening, everyone returns safely back from the hunt.
Yay!
All is good there.
Mhm.
And having discovered new talents, new abilities, and ways to protect your city, that is where we shall end our stream today. Yay!
Oh my
It's the
gosh!
grand finale.
The
They will be
orphan!
facing horrors unthought of for thousands of years. Will
I'm
they
gonna kill him.
survive? Will they save the people of the city? We don't know. But you will know next week. Thank you again to our fabulous sponsors, Souls Rolls. If we can throw his website up there, go and see him. He made all the fabulous feats and delightfulness for us. And, of course, role-playing and role-playing. Please go to their Kickstarter and sign up to be notified when it goes live. It is in the pre-launch phase right now. Thank you so much for everyone being here. And now we are going to go and raid. We're actually going to
But we're
raid
going to
one
do
of...
the giveaway first.
Oh, we're going to do the giveaway first. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody, please
The link's there.
sign up for the giveaway. No, nobody gets it this week.
Okay.
Nobody. I don't like getting back.
We're saving it for
Sorry.
the grand finale.
That's right. There is no... Next week, we will have all kinds of goodies to give away on our grand finale stream. But yes, sign up for the giveaway. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes just to sign up. And in that couple of minutes, why don't you tell me what your favorite moment was, Lando?
Oh, there's so many. That was crazy emotional. There was a lot. Like, I love that Callista and Gahard like merged the sources.
Yes.
That is going to be so cool. I'm so excited for that.
I was like scared that like I was bonding you for a
Right.
second. I was like,
That's a really good point. I didn't even think
You
of.
don't know that lore. Look into the family card.
And what about you, Snowflake? What was your
No,
favorite
you don't want to
moment
bond me
this
because
week?
he's good at
Oh,
eventually.
I think my favorite moment actually comes down to the communication and planning of how are we gonna save not only our own asses but the whole fucking city.
Right?
That's like
I love it.
the discussions we have about some of the things are amazing. Dumb but amazing.
I love it. There is. And what about you, Evan?
I love that we got one extra ballista.
Oh heck yeah.
That's
I'm a strategy
That's
person,
right.
and one extra ballista can do a lot.
Absolutely it can. There's
Weston's over there doing all the
never
math
question
and
a
stuff.
surprise ballista.
Right? Oh, also, I love that the villain or the male channeler is going to be PC.
Yes.
Played
Next
in
week.
PC.
You guys
Oh.
are fucked.
Yeah, I mean they're going to do.
I'm gonna kill him.
They're going to
I'm gonna
do
kill
Oh my gosh.
narrative combat
Callisto,
against us.
What is your favorite moment?
I really did. I agree with Lando. I really enjoyed the
Such a cool
connection
moment. Yeah.
thing. That
Mhm.
was good. Yeah. I'm really nervous about next week.
Oh, we should be. We 100%
You
should be.
be. Oh, yes. Now, I would
What was
like
your
to
favorite
remind
moment,
everyone that we are starting a foundation called the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. And currently we are collecting funds to do all of the many stages of paperwork that you have to do and paying the lawyers to do the things and all that kind of stuff on our Ko-fi. So if you would like to help us get this foundation started, please go to our Ko-fi and donate to that fund. I am very excited about that. But in the meantime, why don't we give you something?
Yeah.
I think we should give away some fabulous prizes.
Let's
is
do
what
it.
I think.
Whoop, whoop.
So, let us see what we have. Sorry, my thing just completely reset my account here. So I'm just logging back in here. But now it is time to pick the winners. Which one shall we do first? Shall we give away the digital copy of Dragon Layers to go with BizFans?
Let's do that.
The
Yeah.
mythical dice from
Too
D&D
early.
Beyond, or the fabulous
Ooh.
real dice from Phoenix Dice. Which one should we do first?
Phoenix.
The
Dice.
Phoenix Dice!
Phoenix
Hey,
Dice.
here we go.
A dice
I know I'm
set.
always about the dice.
The dice set, you can pick anything that oh my god, it's Aganike! You won!
Oh,
the
you
dice!
won!
Oh,
That's fantastic.
Fabulous,
Awesome.
Aganike! There
So
you go,
great.
Aganike. If you want to whisper to me your Twitter handle, I will send you a note to let you know how to claim those. That will be delightful. Thank you so much for
That's
participating.
fantastic.
Next, let's do some other dice. Let's do some mythic dice from D&D Beyond. Hi, Ardana. You have done it.
Yeah, you get
Contacted
some
you to
cool
send you a fabulous
digital
code.
dice.
And
Congratulations.
finally, we have got for our Meaty V. Congratulations!
Woo.
You will be receiving a digital copy of Dragon Layers from Realm Warp Media.
Yeah,
Huzzah!
Dragon
Huzzah.
Layers.
And now we shall say goodbye to you until
Bye.
next week.
Oh,
And we
good
are going
Lord.
to raid into one of our fabulous sponsors, D&D Beyond. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Remember, when you raid into someone from Plain Nerd Allies, you're going to tell them what you're bringing to the potluck. I am going to bring a filthy, rotten male orphan channeler. Is what I'm going to bring.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Yes.
orphan.
I'm bringing rat jerky.
It's
Oh,
it's
so
like-
Right,
mine.
you are.
Oh god. Oh man.
Mwah! Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I'm bringing
Take
up a
care.
list.
There you go.